The Rey movie is delayed indefinitely. Or is it? Conflicting reports have been shaking the Star Wars fandom over the last 24 hours, as some insiders are saying the Rey movie is losing its writer in Stephen Knight due to creative issues, and other insiders are saying that the movie is doing just fine and Stephen Knight is actually working on his final draft right now. So who should we believe? Well, we're going to break down all these rumors that are being spread around, and we're going to pick out the facts and get to the bottom of what's really going on with this new Jedi Order movie, because it might just be delayed indefinitely, but that might not be bad news. In some weird ways, this movie might actually need a delay. So this all started when a scooper by the name of World of Real, who is not known for reporting on Star Wars anything, came out saying that they had a scoop from Lucasfilm, which they never do, saying that the Rey movie is delayed indefinitely. And not only that, but the writer Stephen Knight is on the verge of leaving the project. And usually when an unreliable source is talking about Star Wars, nobody even cares. And I most definitely would not be making a video on it. However, many very reliable sources, like Bespin Bulletin, have backed this claim, also claiming that the Mandalorian and Grogu movie that was announced last week was all to cover up the issues that were going on in the background with the Rey movie. This Mandalorian and Grogu movie, directed by Jon Favreau, would give the Rey movie time to get its together. So with the announcement last week of this Mando movie, it was also announced that this movie would take the place of this new Jedi Order movie as the first theatrical release from Star Wars since 2019's Rise of Skywalker. And the next release date for a Star Wars film is May 22nd of 2026. And The Mandalorian and Grogu will likely be released on that day, meaning technically the Rey movie has been delayed. It's no longer going to be released in May of 2026. However, the World of Real does not claim that the Mandalorian movie is why the Rey movie is being delayed. This report is claiming that Stephen Knight is having creative issues with Lucasfilm. Sound familiar? Around this time last year, Damon Lindelof was the writer of this exact film, and he was also fired in February of last year due to creative issues with Lucasfilm. This just seems to be a common occurrence when it comes to Kathleen Kennedy's Lucasfilm over the last decade. Writers, directors, producers, they all just end up leaving or being fired. And now, it's Stephen Knight's turn. And this report is saying that the first draft that Stephen Knight turned in to Lucasfilm was returned back to him with so many notes that he pretty much had to start over the entire script. Now, Stephen Knight is mostly known for his hit TV show Peaky Blinders, which I think is one of the greatest TV shows of all time. So I seriously doubt that his writing ability is so bad that Lucasfilm had to have him rewrite an entire movie. But according to this report, that's what happened. But is it really what happened? Peaky Blinders ended in 2020. However, this summer they are going to begin filming a Peaky Blinders movie to put an end cap on the series. And of course, the creator of the show, Stephen Knight, will be writing and directing this Peaky Blinders movie, meaning Steven's summer is going to be pretty damn busy, and he's going to have to put Star Wars on the back burners for the time being. And according to this initial report from World of Real, Stephen Knight might actually leave the project. However, just a few hours after this Bespin article was posted, the Gizmondo reported that their connections at Lucasfilm are telling them that all of this is incorrect. This Rey movie is just fine and Stephen Knight is not going anywhere. And actually, Lucasfilm is expecting his final draft any day now. And of course, this meant war in the Star Wars fandom. Some fans took one side saying that nothing was ever wrong and Stephen Knight is just fine and everything is just okay. And other fans just claiming that this is another example of Kathleen Kennedy's Disney Star Wars and how dysfunctional it is behind the scenes. And all this, contradicting reports going one way or the other, all just to answer the question, is the Rey movie delayed indefinitely? But let's look at the facts. Yes, the Rey movie has been delayed. It used to be the first Star Wars project to be released into the movie theaters since 2019's Rise of Skywalker. Now that is no longer the case. The Mandalorian and Grogu movie will be the first movie to be released since 2019's The Rise of Skywalker. So has this Rey movie been delayed? Yes. And there is no release date set for this movie, meaning the delay is indefinite. I think when a lot of fans heard the words indefinite, they heard it's canceled. That's not what indefinite means. And it also doesn't help that a lot of Star Wars YouTubers are just spreading false information, having thumbnails or titles of their videos claiming that this movie has been canceled, leading some of the fandom to believe that that is the truth. But the facts are the facts. Stephen Knight does have another movie this year that he is writing and directing that films this summer, so we won't have that much time for Star Wars. Both reports are agreeing in saying that he has not finished writing the script for this Rey movie. And Lucasfilm realizes that they need more time to create this new Jedi Order movie perfectly, so they've delayed it and replaced it with an alternative movie with The Mandalorian and Grogu. So has the Rey movie been delayed indefinitely? Technically, yes. But that does not mean that this movie will never happen. Stephen Knight is not going anywhere, but he might just need a little bit more time to create the best possible outcome for this Rey movie. And let's be honest, with the divisive fandom on the sequel trilogy and the character of Rey, and to the director of Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, this movie needs all the time it can get to create the best product, because there's a whole future past the sequel trilogy, and this Rey movie is just going to lead us off into that future, and it needs to start us off on the right foot. But tell me what you think in the comment section below. Do you think this Rey movie is delayed, or do you think that nothing has changed and it will still come out in that May 2026 release date? That would mean The Mandalorian and Grogu would come out before that. And have you ever wanted a Star Wars What If series? Maybe to see what would happen if Qui-Gon didn't die to Darth Maul in The Phantom Menace, and see how he would have trained Anakin instead of Obi-Wan.